Good morning. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for November 9th. Jerry's just wanted to say hello and pass along his congratulations on the United States electing somebody sane. He's very excited for you, and so am I. All right. Say goodbye. Very nice. All right. Off you go. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this one a little bit quicker today just because there's a lot going on. Thank you ever so much, every one of you, for all of your lovely, lovely supportive wishes and prayers and intentions with regards to me sort of changing residences and moving on to another sort of new chapter of my life. So thank you so much for that. That is just lovely. Just absolutely lovely, and I thank you so much for that. I'm currently booking in December for private readings, and I don't have a lot of openings simply because I'm restricting what I'm able to do. For those of you who have sent me messages and email requests and that kind of thing, I'm working my way through it. I know they're there, and I will get to them sometimes today. Okay, so I want to take a look at, I think we're going to shift slightly instead of the Trump weekly. I think we're going to start doing USA weeklies because I think that's going to give us a much better idea of kind of what's going on, not only with Trump, but of course with the new administration that'll be coming in. So that I think we're going to, and of course, if Trump does something absolutely crazy, we'll focus on that, of course. So right now, the crazy thing he's doing is he's planning a bunch of rallies, I think to try to whip up enthusiasm for the notion that dead people voted for him. I'm pretty sure that's it, right? No, voted for Biden. Apparently, he's got some theory about obituaries and those people voting, and I don't know. So there we have it. Let's go. And of course, for all of you who took the time and resources to send me some donations, thank you so much. I'm always so humbled because I know things are tough everywhere and people are struggling. And when somebody just sends me a donation, it leaves me speechless. All righty, come on down. I've got a question. Okay, so let's take a look at the United States for the week. I think that would be November 8th to 15th, I think, or roundabouts there. One last shuffle, and here we go. All right, so pull this back a bit. All righty. USA this week, USA this week, USA this week. Sometimes the cards are just beyond brilliant. So what's going on this week is that the administration, the government, has fallen. It's as simple as that. It has crashed down. He finally arrived at the tower moment. And the reason for that was because the United States had a very strong desire to, it's not really so much return as much as they were done with this. And they really, really wanted to start moving forward in a much more positive way. And the Star card is telling you your wish was granted. And the thing about wishes is sometimes, and certainly intentions, is sometimes they require a great deal of effort and work and focus. And that is exactly what happened. And that is exactly what is causing Donald Trump to leave in disappointment and for people to continue dancing in the streets and celebrating. So this week feels sort of like, on the one hand, there's a lot of excitement still. That's going to continue to carry through as more and more pieces of what Joe Biden's going to be implementing going forward start to sort of penetrate in people's consciousness, and you realize that there's a great deal of hope and expectation. There's a lot to look forward to going in. There's a lot of things that Biden is going to do to really reverse course on some of the decisions that Trump made. And as this week unfolds, you're going to get more information, and that, of course, is going to make it's just going to be a good week. Okay, so we're just going to. You've got the energy of this win is going to continue to amplify and build and build. The world has sighed a sigh of relief. Okay, we collectively, the world, is pleased to see that the United States is going to be returning to a position of internal strength, that the country itself is going to stabilize, and that some of those relationships with allies are going to be, rebalanced, in some cases like made whole, the ability to simply move forward and create an environment that is much more in keeping simply with what is known. And along the way, there is great hope and expectation that the United States, the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, that the United States doesn't push past the lessons and in many ways the horrors of the last 4 years and kind of go, okay, done, good. Let's just throw him out with the trash and let's just pretend it never happened. You can't pretend it never happened. It did happen. And it happened to bring awareness. It happened to change the trajectory of the United States because it was heading down a path that was just not all it could be. And so there's wisdom to be gained, there's understanding to be gained, and frankly, there are corrections that need to be made legally and in the law to kind of ensure that there's not a replay of this going forward. And that's sort of the awareness. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune has finally arrived, and it is okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune has arrived. And part of the reason that fortunes were reversed collectively with the United States, the reason that things are improving now, is because there was a lot of internal soul searching that went on in the last little while, last 5 years. And it really caused people to examine exactly what was going on in the country and sort of not be quite so asleep. And really, really pay attention. And that introspection and that insight has again led to a place where Donald Trump is going to be sort of almost like imprisoned by his own insanity, if you will. There's just that sense that, day by day, he gets wound tighter and tighter. And listen, when you have all kinds of people telling him that he lost, it's over, let it go, move on, and he's absolutely not listening. I mean, honestly, when I saw this card, the first thing that flew into my head were the words barkin' mad. And I don't mean angry, I mean not quite stable mentally. There's hope now. But with hope comes work. And I guess that's one of the things that you're being asked to recognize, is that you celebrate and then you roll up your sleeves and you get to work. Okay. Balance is being restored. I mean, this is a good news reading, right? I mean, it was like the United States really did veer away from a very, very dangerous place. And energetically, there's a great deal to celebrate. There's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of joy. And for those of you who maybe didn't know about or didn't participate in this past Sunday's Positive Energy Circle, it was literally about dancing in the light. It was about amplifying the good feelings and the positive and using that powerful light to diminish and push back the lower vibrational energy that has been such a part of the day-to-day life of the American psyche for the last 5 years. So there's going to be a lot of good news coming forward from the Biden-Harris camp. There's going to be information coming out. You see they've already started the task force, and there's going to be more announcements made this week and, of course, rolling forward that really is going to give people, I think, a sense of clarity about what this looks like going forward and how this is going to play out. So it's still going to be a week of a lot of good news and a lot of excitement. And more, Trump is going to stay diminished and trapped, sort of by his own insanity, his own craziness, his own delusions. And so from him, you can expect a lot of chatter, a lot of muttering in the background. But what he's going to discover is that unless you're like Breitbart and Fox, and maybe not even Fox so much, and Rush Limbaugh, he really doesn't have an audience federally, okay, from across the board in the United States. His audience is diminishing. And that is, frankly, as it should be, because more than enough attention has been paid to this fool for long enough. The stock market is improving. There's going to be good news coming in terms of moving forward. So this is going to still be a really good news, exciting week. And I encourage all of you to do everything you can to stay in that place. Like, spread the joy, spread the love, spread the unity. Really amp up that energy, because as you go forward, there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done to restore balance, to bring back unity, to stabilize everything that has been topsy-turvy. And so it's really important that you stay in that awesome, happy space this week, because as I said, going forward, the weeks are going to get a little bit harder and a little bit tougher. But for right now, you're in awesome, awesome shape. Hang on a second. Come on. All right. Sorry about that. Skittles says sorry. He just wanted to go outside. So I guess as far as Trump goes, as the week progresses, he's going to continue to stay in that sort of state, like that emperor has no clothes kind of state, where he just will not accept reality. He will not accept that the country had a choice. They passed judgment on him, and the judgment was not positive. I suspect that going forward, not yet, but I suspect going forward, there's going to be some interesting information that comes out about some of the campaigns. Certainly maybe information about Trump's campaign, but there are a few other, particularly Senate races, where there's going to be some information coming out, and I will do a deep dive on that. I'm hoping on Wednesday, unless something crazy happens. But there's going to be more information that comes out about exactly how some of these races are won. And let's remember, not all of the votes are counted, and there's still I'm not sure now, three states that have still not called the projected winner. And so there are still electoral college votes, I think, that are going to swing Biden's way. And that, of course, is only going to reinforce the illusions that Trump is functioning under. Yeah, this is what you have to realize is Trump, and again, I'm not a medical expert, but Trump has sort of snapped. He's moved into a place truly of an alternate reality. He's fighting and he's angry, but that seems to be offset by this space in his head where he really does believe he won, and he really does believe, and from the bottom of his soul, not that we're sure he has one that's very white, but that he won and this was stolen from him, and he's the victim. He believes it, okay, people. This is not rhetoric. This is a switch that has tripped in his brain, and this is his reality. This is what he believes. And so that is where that fight comes from, because he psychologically and mentally, he cannot tell himself he lost, because he has spent his whole life knowing that being a loser is a really bad thing, and that in fact it has, a lot of repercussions, particularly the way he's raised within his own family and within their thought processes. And so this is something he is going to resist. But like I say, it feels very, very much like he is losing support everywhere. I like everywhere, okay? His own party is aside from a couple that are like just as delusional as he is for whatever crazy reason. But for the most part, you're going to see people just starting to pull back away from him as he continues this sort of ranting and raving about, election theft. And his own party, more and more, are going to be saying things like, there is absolutely no evidence of fraud. If there is fraud, bring your evidence forward. And of course, that's just going to add to kind of all of the chaotic energy around him, because he's going to become more and more and more isolated. Whoever stands still for more than 4 seconds in front of his face gets blamed. Okay, it's just as simple as that. They get blamed for whatever it is they didn't do enough for his reelection. They didn't whatever. He is lashing out all over the place. He's no longer making a great deal of rational sense, particularly behind the scenes. Not exactly that he's a stable genius in public, but behind the scenes, there is just this crazy, erratic kind of energy going on. But this is the thing. The powerful white light energy is too strong now. And he's not going to be able to gain the kind of traction that, frankly, he feels he should gain. Because in his head, he didn't, he understands that there is a loss, but he understands that the loss was caused by dead people voting for him and cheating. So this is exactly what Trump has always done, right? Whatever it is he is guilty of, he puts on the other person, right? So if he's a cheat and a con man, that's exactly what he accuses somebody else of. So this is sort of the energy, it looks like, that's going to be floating around this week in the United States. And that's really terrific, because look what we have here. We have my Kamala Harris card. We have my Joe Biden card. And of course, we have my card for the administration. And you have the death card. And the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is a reassurance that the government is strong and it's going to move forward, and it will recover. And listen, it's sort of like surgery. There can be really bad stuff that happens, and there is like a process by which it is corrected. But the United States, just like surgery, is always going to carry a scar for the damage that was done, not only to the people and the country, but to the reputation, a lot of stuff. And I mean, literally, when you have people dancing in the streets around the world because, Trump did not win re-election. That tells you something. There has been an ending and there will be a new beginning. I am being sort of cautioned to remind you all that this victory has had a price. In order to get to this place, there was a price paid by the country. And certainly almost 240,000 lost souls is one of those prices. So it is a week to really look forward to the growth and the forward movement of the country and excitement. This is the week to stand in that energy, okay? And as you move closer towards the end of the week, you're going to see sort of a stabilizing that goes on. And the attention and the focus is really, really going to shift to the Biden-Harris team, the forthcoming administration. And as I said, Trump is really going to, flounder as the energy moves forward in a really positive way. He is going to more and more feel like he is on the defensive. He is on the outside trying to, he's not well. He's not sleeping. He's erratic. And he's done. So going forward, we're going to we'll do a deeper dive on Trump just to see what things we maybe need to be cautious of or aware of, because, he is right now a caged animal, frankly, with not a lot to lose. And so in some ways, he really, really is his most dangerous. And because he is powerless now, he's still in office. He's still the president. You do that wisely, that, one president at a time. But the attention has now shifted, because the reality is so much attention was being paid because people were terrified. And they felt they just needed to keep on top of this, because God only knows what this madman would have done at any given point in time. And so as people's attention now shifts away and they're focusing on going forward and what that's going to look like and what that's going to bring and how things are going to improve, he's going to become, a little bit more of what he always has been. But again, you're being asked energetically to just really stay in that place of light and joy and happiness, because that in and of itself is just energetically going to go a really, really long way to starting the healing process and allowing it to have the energy to continue moving forward. And again, what is that expression? A single candle can diminish the darkness. Well, okay, so there's now, I don't know, 80 million candles in the United States that are burning bright. And we don't even want to think about all of the countries around the world where their candles are burning bright for you. So stand in that light. You know what? Really, embrace it, because the hard work's coming. But this is the time to celebrate, shore yourself up, just be in that place, because that becomes amplified and magnified. And of course, more and more of that ends up coming to you. Okay, so that's it for today. It's very busy in my world right now. So, you may be getting videos later in the day. There may be some days that you just don't see me. I have every intention of continuing both of my channels well into the next administration, at the point in time where people are like, okay, we're good now. The panic has subsided. You will then probably see me either pulling back or reducing, some of my schedule. But for right now, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be there, and I celebrate with you. Congratulations, you guys, you did it. You managed to shove back the darkness that was threatening literally to swallow your country whole. Until next time, take care, be well, stay safe, Wash your hands, wear your mask. Things are amplifying and accelerating everywhere. And of course, the United States is accelerating and amplifying even faster. So really, really, really stay safe. But wow, enjoy the moment. Bye-bye now.